perfect guy today for this. Okay, so first of all, you're going to the game. It is going to be minus 15. As a spectator, what are you taking on the trip? Just as a spectator.
So I have the jacket from when I played in Minneapolis. So I have a negative 40 rated jacket. That'll be with me. I have the beanie. So I've ordered the thermal face shield. I ordered thermal long johns, essentially, thermal pants, and thermal socks. I have hand warmers, feet warmers, and I probably will wear my snow boots. Haven't decided on that yet. But I'm ready for this game. Obviously, first AFC Championship game ever in Arrowhead. See my brother play. I mean, how many times can you watch your sibling play in a game that could basically overthrow maybe a dynasty and also make it the Super Bowl?
Let me ask you, as a player, would you rather play on the road with a crowd disadvantage like the Superdome, where you can't hear anything, or would you rather play on the road in an Arctic blast where you know that the weather will influence you negatively? What's a bigger negative, a crowd or lousy weather?
I would say the frigid cold is a bigger negative. I mean, the crowd noise you can work through, and you can lower the crowd noise, obviously, if you play better. The cold it's a mental game. I mean, it ruins your routine warming up because you cannot get warm, obviously. You think about it all the time. You think about it when you land. You think about it in the hotel. You think about it warming up. You think about it during the game. If things start going poorly, you feel colder. So it affects everything mentally, and the more times you do it, you get used to it, but you never really get used to the cold. I can get rid of crowd noise by scoring 2 touchdowns. We saw the Eagles do this on Sunday. Score 2 touchdowns, crowd quiets down. I can't get the cold to go away if I score 3 touchdowns.
I believe, Jeff, and I said this, my gut feeling when the lines came out, and you're good with the lines, was Kansas City's the bet. Kansas City's the bet. I don't think New England can duplicate that. That performance against the Chargers is as good a performance I've seen from any team in the playoffs in multiple years. They were flawless for 4 hours. But I got to tell you, it feels like this weather is a break for New England. Am I wrong?
I don't think you're wrong because Tom Brady has done this before. Remember, you have to get used to playing in the cold, and the wind is a big factor here. There's a difference between being cold and being cold plus the wind, because the wind messes with your pass game. We often see actually in cold weather games, the over hits a lot because the total is really low. But guys can still throw in the cold. It's a matter of the wind, and the Chiefs just haven't had, especially Pat Mahomes, haven't had these opportunities to play in the frigid cold. New England's run game is very diverse. They can get after the Chiefs' run game. The Chiefs' run defense, by the way, 32nd still in DVOA. What happens when you play Kansas City is you have a game plan of run the football, keep it away from Pat Mahomes, but when you're down 14-0, you abandon that plan. If New England's down early, I don't think they abandoned that plan. So, yeah, running the football is going to be a key for New England. In the cold, it's easier for them to do it. And plus, defensive linemen don't like to hit anybody when they're cold. No one likes to hit anybody when they're cold. James Harrison said that about 30 minutes ago on this show. Like, you don't want to hit anybody, so it favors the offensive line.
Have you talked to your brother, Mitchell Schwartz, who has had a remarkable year? Where is he at psychologically in that team?
I haven't. I called him yesterday. I told him I was coming to Kansas City. That's about it. I haven't asked him how the cold is. I mean, I don't know. He's going to probably say it's cold. We'll be fine. I mean, I don't think there's any big concern there. I trust my brother to be ready to play in the whole team. I'll tell you what. Pat Mahomes is the big difference maker. He can do so much with this team that I think they always feel confident, no matter if they're down early, if they're big early, that Pat Mahomes can bail them out. Look at Saturday. The Colts block a punt. It's now 17-7. The game is like, oh boy, here we go again. I thought the same thing. Here we go again, Arrowhead. Pat Mahomes comes down, takes them on a touchdown drive. Now it's 24-7 all of a sudden. That's the difference with Mahomes. And I love Alex Smith. That's the big difference. Mahomes has those drives in him where Alex Smith did not have that, and that makes the entire team confident. So as long as Pat Mahomes is upright and throwing the football, they think they can win every game.
Geoff Schwartz joining us, 8 NFL seasons. He was a 7th-rounder who put together a really nice career. His brother's a Pro Bowl offensive lineman for the Chiefs, and they host and are favored against the Patriots this weekend. Moving to the NFC, which you live in Carolina, so you see every NFC South game. Over the last month, Jeff, the Saints don't look the same. Numbers that matter, yards per play, point differential, total output. They're the worst of the 4. Doesn't mean I don't like them against the Rams, but I do think home field is huge for this team. What has happened to them post-Cowboys loss? They don't look the same.
Well, in the 7 home games Drew Brees started, so take out Week 17, they averaged 37 points a game at home. That bad stretch they had was on the road. It was Dallas, Carolina, and Tampa. So they're better at home, like you said. And I think on Sunday, the Eagles punched them in the mouth early on. Their offensive line had got a couple guys back from injury, left tackle, left guard, right tackle. Took them a while to get going. But I think teams have figured out this. You can double Thomas as best you can. Obviously, he went off on Sunday, and put a couple eyes on Kamara. They don't have many other offensive weapons. They don't have a dynamic tight end. They don't have a dynamic slot or deep guy. Now, Ted Ginn being back is huge. We saw the first play of the game. He was open for a touchdown, was underthrown by Brees. That's not talked about, too. He underthrew 2 balls that would have been touchdowns. That one and one later to Hill that was broken up by the safety. So I think if you look at their weapons, they've decided to run the football, trust the offensive line and the running backs, and let Drew Brees just find places here and there to make plays. So they're a different offense now without all these weapons.
I want to go to a couple of topics. Rams offensive lineman said the Cowboys defensive linemen were tipping plays. Is that common, or should that be alarming for Cowboy fans, Geoff?
Oh, it's supremely common. They found the young offensive lineman who was willing to talk about it. Everyone knows what the Cowboys do. It's no surprise. They're a cover 2 team. You see 2 safeties, linebackers deep. They're going to pirate, but it takes a special group of offensive linemen to be able to do that during the game. You can get all the keys you want before the game, but you get the play call, you get to the line of scrimmage, you have to know what you're doing first. Then you have to look around the defense. Your guy, linebacker, safety, hear the snap count, know what you're doing, hear the other calls, and then also call out what the defense is doing. My favorite thing ever, was telling our offensive line what the defense was doing. They got so upset. They tried to change their calls in the middle of the game. It did not work. You can read safeties. You can figure it out. So you have to be able to put all those things together, and the best offensive linemen do that. And for the Rams, they found the young right guard, the youngest of the group by far, who is willing to tell the media exactly what they saw. This should not be a surprise to anyone who's ever watched the Cowboys play. They play fast. They play physical. You know what they're doing, but they trust that they'll beat you on their technique.
And finally, I was saying, when you say Jacksonville and Tennessee, you don't think of dynamic, clever offenses. So Aaron Rodgers now hired not Aaron Rodgers, the Packers hire a Tennessee play caller and a Jacksonville coordinator. And it feels like the show Entourage, their turtle and drama, their guys rolling with Aaron and appeasing Aaron. But I don't think in a sport where coaching has been magnified and amplified for the last 4 or 5 years with rule changes, this doesn't feel like a big boy coaching staff. Am I wrong in Green Bay?
No, I don't think you're wrong. It doesn't feel like that. But people I trust say LaFleur knows what he's doing, but he's never really been in a position to lead a room. He had the 1 year as the OC in Tennessee, and things didn't go very well. I know someone said that they should give him credit because he ran the ball and didn't try to bump up his resume. I don't quite believe that. Guys love to throw the football. If you're an OC, it comes down to really Rodgers being willing to change in a new offense. It's going to be a new offense. Is he willing to do something different than he had with Mike McCarthy? And look, all reports are that he kind of likes to do things his own way, so they're going to have to find a way to meet. Look, they have all offseason to figure it out, obviously, but Rodgers is going to have to defer to his coach. His coach has a system. It's worked in the NFL, and he's got to trust him that he puts him in the right spot. I think early on, the trust will be there, but if they don't play well to start the season, I think Rodgers will try to do things more off script like he did with McCarthy. Yeah,
he has a strong point of view, and I think Aaron has shown that he's not the easiest guy to coach, and he likes to do things his way, and to your point, they struggle early. Maybe he abandons the young guys and loses trust. Geoff Schwartz, who's going to the game, he's all thermaled up. It's great talking to you, buddy.
Same here. I enjoyed it.
All right. Eric Mangini is going to join us this hour as well from New York. He used to coach the Jets. The Jets have a new head coach, among other things. Here's Joy Taylor with the news.